So, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Share Your Shine interviews. This is Marie Fertoni, the CEO of Get Clients Everywhere at getclientseverywhere.com. And I am here today with my dear friend, wonderful colleague, Sreelatha Meleth, who we all affectionately call Sree. And Sree is with us today as the owner of an amazing business that's called freeingourselves.com. Don't you just love that? Welcome.
Thank you, Marie. Thank you so much for having me here. I have enjoyed our friendship all these years, and I'm really thrilled to be on this podcast.
Well,
Thank you.
it's wonderful to be able to shine the light on you because you do amazing work. And, for those people that may be listening or viewing this episode, I've known Shree for a number of years, and she's one of the smartest women that I know. I know many of you hear me say that a lot because I surround myself with really brilliant women. And Shree is somebody who is multiple degreed. She is multiple certified in the work that she does. And now she is like fully committed to really helping all of us free ourselves from those old little pesky stories that keep us small, that keep us held back, that keep us in fear. And she's an expert in meditation and tapping. She's an author. She's a podcast host. She is a coach and just a leader to help us really break through um, and again to free ourselves. So I'm really excited to get into this conversation with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
When you work with people, tell us a little bit about who the perfect clients are for you. So maybe our listeners can hear themselves in that.
So, the perfect client for me, the people that I'm focusing on right now are people like me. For example, empty nester women who want to start their own businesses. Some of them may have ventured into businesses, but they are now finding that they had thought they were getting onto the path of their purpose, but it's not easy. There are so many things that come in the way. So when they are maybe networking or they are trying to sell themselves, they suddenly find that there is something that is blocking them. They are not shining their full gift in the way it is meant to be shunned. I don't know if that is grammatically correct, but but it is the sense of people are not seeing me in the way I'm meant to be seen,
Mm.
um, and a kind of vague understanding that there is something blocking them, right? And they make the plans, they do their calendars, they go into networking meetings, or maybe they even have sales calls. But like a client recently was telling me, I get to the close and I'm just not able to close, right? I do all of the conversation up to there, but then when I have to ask them for money, then I suddenly find that my energy goes down.
Mm.
Or there was another client who had been charging the same price for a long time. She knew she was worth more. She knew the service she offered was valued more. But when she just thought of, I do this exercise where I get people into their bodies and I tell them, okay, imagine that you are citing a price for your program that is twice what it is today. And she said she could feel the muscles in her back
Mm.
tighten up. She could feel her stomach clench, so what I have realized is that if you don't overcome the body's physiological reaction to your progress, then you do not manifest it. So what things like tapping and meditation helps us to get into a body and get grounded, and then using tapping in that kind of space allows us to be fully present, feel safe, and then really explore what these stories are that are. So it's just fascinating work. It's the techniques are amazing, and I just love what I do. I
I
don't feel
you
like,
know, I just love that because that, even just as you said that, your face just lit up. You
yeah.
do love what you do, and it's like you're and I what I, my experience of you is that when you invite us to work with you, when we work with you, you're just like you're like Mother Earth. You're like welcoming and encompassing, and we feel safe in your hands, and I think that's something that is terrific. I want to go back there. I know that most of the audience, I think that's listening, is probably going to know what tapping is or EFT, emotional freedom techniques. Can you
Mhm.
say a little bit about that and how that helps us to break free or to step into that power to ask for a higher package price or things like that?
Yeah, so EFT is called emotional freedom technique. The person who first discovered it was a psychotherapist called Roger Callahan, and I'm just to give you a little bit of history. He was working with this woman who had a phobia of water, and he had learned something about the Chinese meridians, and he was beginning to experiment with it. And he was trying it on this lady, and he happened to tap on her stomach meridian, and then he had to go in for something. So they were inside the house. He had to do some tapping with her, and he had a swimming pool outside. And in the previous session, she wouldn't even glance at the swimming pool, right? So after he finished this tapping, specifically on her stomach meridian, and I have to go back and check. I think it's the one below the chin, but I can add that into the notes. Um, he had to go in for something. He came out and he found her sitting on the side of the pool with her feet in the pool. And he was just blown away that just that short session with her had helped her to overcome the phobia. So he started doing more and more work into it. And then he used to call it emotional thought therapy. And then Gary Craig took it over and he really built it up into what it is today. And then Dr. Dawson, who has created the EFT University, is the person with whom I've certified. He has really developed the field because they've now got a lot of double-blind studies. They've done a lot of actual physiological research to show that when you do the tapping, you do deactivate the sympathetic system. So you do deactivate your fight or flight response and you activate your parasympathetic system, the good part of the parasympathetic system, where your intuition is open, where you're able to receive messages and ideas of change, that's how, when you're in a space where someone can hold you to feel safe, and you practice a technique like EFT and meditation, what happens is that that sense of safety really gets into your body, and you're able to examine these things that are fairly painful without collapsing.
It's very important, I've been tapping. I'm not a certified tapper, but I know enough about it, to maybe to be a little bit dangerous here. But I mean, I've been tapping probably for, I mean, I'm going to say maybe 20 years. When I first started with a woman who started doing it through some of our church services or whatever, and that's where I first heard about it.
Yeah.
And then I was working with another coach many years ago who that was an integral part of her training and her masterminds. And so we did a lot of work with that. And I think that that's been something that really helped me step more into my power because, as you know me, and I think a lot of my colleagues know me, there's Marie who's out there with the world and can do a lot of things and is masterful in many ways. And then there's little Marie, that is the little girl that was wounded or hurt or upset or left out, that those things always seem to come into play, even as an adult and having some mastery. So, what you provide for business owners, even if they've been an experienced business owner,
Yes.
is really something that's really very good. What's the connection? I know that you like to look at how the stories from our past really impact our present and the subconscious and conscious mind. Can you say a little bit about that that might inspire people to work with you and check you out?
Yeah, let me just tell you something that happened as recently as yesterday, and I posted about this actually on my Instagram. And so I've been taking voice lessons for the last 18 months or so, Indian classical voice culture lessons. Part of the reason that I was taking the voice lessons is because there is a part of me that knows that I need to let my voice free. My voice is restricted. I need it to be free. Um, I've been a good singer all my life. I won some prizes when I was little, but there was always this thing in my house about how my voice is not good. You can sing some English songs. This was something that my mom said to me, but there's too much shakiness in your voice, so you shouldn't try to sing Indian songs. I had an uncle who told me that I sounded like a dog wailing when I sang. So there's a lot of baggage that I carry with this idea of singing in public or letting my voice heard. So yesterday I was a little late getting into the voice lesson, and the other student who was there was talking to the teacher about how beautiful my voice is, how beautiful Shree's voice is, and especially her head voice. I'm sure she's had some training, and she's been in choirs and stuff. And for me, that was so much validation of the work that I have been doing in healing myself. Because what is more important than being confident about your voice, right? So, those stories that told me that my voice was not good enough was also restricting my ability to be fully who I was. So,
Mm.
in the same way, I have clients who have had experiences in their childhood that have made them feel that they don't deserve anything good. They feel that it is bad to ask for too much.
Mm.
Only bad people or only greedy people ask for too much. A lot of the time, these beliefs are not up in the surface of our consciousness, they're deep in our subconscious. So when we get into our body and when we test, what one of the things that we do in EFT is we kind of run a test. So we say, like I said, put yourself in a position where you are doubling the price for your package. What is happening in your body? Where are you feeling it? How are you? And then you say, when do you remember feeling this the first time? The earliest time you felt it. And invariably, the memory that comes up is the memory that is ready to be healed.
Mm.
Right. And so you mentioned that you had done a lot of tapping, and you're an experienced tapping practitioner for yourself. But every time you are going up to the next level in your business, you will find that there is something blocking you. And
Always.
yeah, and this is I talk about healing in terms of a spiral staircase, right? So when you do some healing and you go to the next level, but some of that healing is much deeper. So as you go to the next level, you discover the next layer of healing, maybe on the same thing that has to happen. And so you have to go through that whole process again. And this time when we work on it, it'll be a different memory that comes up. It'll be a different story that you've carried with you for a long time that comes up. And then what we do is we disable those stories, we disempower those stories using tapping so that the memory doesn't go away, but the trigger of the memory goes away.
Yeah, it's like cutting those cords so that they're
Yes,
not running you, you're kind of
yes,
managing it.
yeah.
So, yeah,
A-
that's
and
very
and then also what is beautiful about it is that when you are aware of this little person inside you who has felt all of this, right? And who has, what happens is that that little one doesn't want to feel that again. So every time she feels that some action that you're about to take is about to make her feel unsafe, she will come and do something to prevent it. So when you are able to hold that little one and tell her that she is safe, that she doesn't have to worry, that you are the adult in the room right now and that you can take care of her, and you actually listen to her fears and help her overcome them, she settles down. And that's how the triggers, that memory stops triggering you, and then you move to the next level, and then you do some more healing, and then you move to the next level.
It's really great. So I just want to say something here, and I want to say this to you, and I want to say this to our listeners and to our viewers. I don't know about you, but it sounds like she's speaking directly to me. Which is always what's really great is because I think Sree has the ability to just like zoom in and really get what's going on for her clients. I've been one of her clients and I've enjoyed the result of working with her that actually got me free a couple of years ago to take some action. And I'm just excited about what you provide. I know that, Sree is PhDs. She's been I want to say a biostatistician. I don't know if that's actually the correct term. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yes, it is correct.
Let's just say she's a very, very smart woman. I mean, like globally smart, working with major companies and has recently really decided to really be on her own. She's been managing her business, writing her books. I've been to her book signings. I take her meditation book with me on my retreats to Italy. It's always really great to stop myself and kind of check in. A couple of times I've gotten some really good ideas to lead some of the meditations for the participants. She's a great resource. What I want people to really understand is that it's probably if you're in a place where you're feeling stopped, not necessarily stuck, but just kind of like maybe dancing with should I, shouldn't I, yes, I will, no, I won't, all of those kind of the ambivalence of what goes on with that. I invite you to visit Sree. You can check her out at her website, which is freeingourselves.com. And Sree, is there a free Shree, I can't say it, I'm getting tongue tied here. Um, a gift that you have for our listeners and
Yeah,
viewers here today?
I have a gift that is specifically aimed at entrepreneurs, which looks at the three most frequent um, fears that people have in selling. So we start with the fear of public speaking. So, just the common physical manifestations of what happens when you try to stand up in front of a crowd. So there's a tapping video for that. And then we go into the fear of failure, because a lot of the time we don't want to step up because we're afraid that we might fail. So there's a whole tapping sequence for that. And the third, which is actually probably the most insidious, is fear of success,
Mm,
because we say we want to succeed, but there is a part of us that is terrified of how our life might change if we actually succeed in the real way that we want to succeed, in the full big picture way. And so we that's one of the reasons why we restrict our voice, where we pull ourselves back and say, mediocrity is enough. Maybe I don't need excellence,
mm.
right? Because excellence has its own price. So so there is a free gift with all of those three videos that you can download.
Is that on
Uh,
your website?
it's yeah.
So
it
people can go there and
and
does it
and
have a
yeah,
name on it?
yeah, it
Let's
says it says fear of sales.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I'm just making that down because I want to have a conversation with you about that.
yeah.
Um, this is just really great. I hope that our listeners and our viewers have really seen themselves in this conversation. Um, I always say that Sree is one of the members of my Circle of Brilliance. She's a WPDN member. Um, she is somebody who is a trusted advisor, a go-to person that, is you can see she just is so loves what it is that she does, wants to really make a difference, and we're really, really very happy to have you here. I'm excited to continue on with you. You were gonna say something else?
No, I just wanted to say thank you. I really enjoyed being part of WPDN. I love knowing you, and so so thank you so much for being as welcoming as you have been in the community and here. Just
Absolutely.
yeah.
Again, freeingourselves.com, learn about Sree, hear her story. Um, I had one of the best opportunities to work with her to help her create her signature talk, which, when she came to WPDN and then delivered it, she got 100% enrollment. I mean, people like jumping in because it's like she shared herself. Never mind all of her talents and abilities. When you share yourself, people really begin to see themselves in their light, in their face, and it's just all reflected good stuff. So, Sheree, thank you for being with us here today. For those of you that have been listening, if you'd like to learn more about getclientseverywhere.com, just visit getclientseverywhere.com. You could / WPDN and see a little bit about that and the kinds of things that are coming up. And we just really appreciate you being here. So go out there and have a great day. This is Marie Fertoni signing off for now.